Greetings of the day. Today I'm with video 2 related to Dbms, which is about file system versus Dbms. File system versus Dbms. So how do we manage database? So there are different ways of managing this database. One is called our file system. Okay, let us see what are the drawbacks in the file system, what is file system, and what is the difference between file system and Dbms. If we take a file is a collection of rows or records. So here we have three rows. One, which is Pavan, 30k salary, Naren, which is 50k salary, Aryan, which is 55k salary. So one is employees table. For example, their number one is Pavan, number two is Naren, number three is Aryan. So these are called as records. These are called as records. So this file has three records. So data is stored in files in the form of hard disk, in the system itself, in OS, in hard disk also. So if you see this column wise, we have three columns. They're called as fields. So if we take this table, for example, this table has three rows and three columns. So file is a collection of rows, information. The file is a collection of information in the form of records and fields, which has some data about something. That is called as file system. It's nothing but storing of the data. Let us move further for the next slide. So what is the major difference between file system and Dbms? If you just find out, first point is inconsistency is there in file system. Inconsistency is there in file system. For example, if we take a table which I have drawn here, which consists of roll number, name, class, section, ID card, and fees, whether ID card is issued or not, whether fees they have paid or not. First name is Sirisha, which is class 5, section A. ID card is issued, yes. Fees paid is yes. Second is Somesh, class 5, section A. ID card issued is no. If you see. And fees paid is also no. Now class 6 we have Ganga, Kiran Babu, class 7, and also we have sections Praveen and Prasad. Now if we take any table, data redundancy means the data is not consistent in file system. For example, what I have to tell, suppose Somesh has been issued ID card after some days. Similarly, I'll mark yes. And he paid the fees, I'll mark yes. But I'm storing this data in various like C drive, D drive, various drives. Okay, when I'm storing the same data in various drives, if in one table I have updated this data, the same is not reflected in all the other tables. So other tables will be Somesh no, ID card issued no, and fees paid no. Whereas in our table I have updated it. So the address change or something, if you change or update, it will not be modified in all the files. So whichever file you are updating, you have to update in all the files, or wherever your file is stored, you have to update them in each and every file. That is why this is called data redundancy. You have duplicate data or inconsistency in file system. This is called duplicate data. So tomorrow one person may get confused. In this table it is written as yes, in another table it is no. So which one is valid? There is a problem in this. That is why file system data redundancy problem is there. Whereas in DBMS, if you update the data in one table, it will be updated in all the tables at a time. It will be updated in all the tables at a time. Let us see next. Now coming to file system versus DBMS, another difference. Difficulty in accessing the data. For example, here we have students named Suman, Chaitanya, Sai, Veena, Madhuri, Narendra, and Lovaras. 3 are in class 5, 2 are in class 6, 2 are in class 7 with different section A, section B, section C, and the percentage of marks which they got, that is 76, 75, 91, like this 45, etc., etc., etc. Now if you ask how many students got more than 60%, so students above 60%, if you want to know, we have to calculate manually. That means we cannot directly get the data. The students who are there above 60% are 3 in numbers. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in numbers. 6 students got above 60%. How many failed in the exam? So we have to calculate and see the table, manually do this, because okay, we have to write a program for each and everything. There is no query here. Okay, so we have to write separate program for each doubt whatever we have. So we have to calculate manually in file system. Whereas in DBMS, whatever data is required, whatever queries you have, we have query tools. So automatically when you write a query, immediately you'll get the answer. There are 6 members who are more than 60%. There are 6 members who have passed the exam. Okay, like this. There is one student who got less than 60%, like this. Next is in file system, we are talking about the difference between file system and DBMS. Data isolation. A file is stored in different formats in different locations: text format, XML format, document format. In different formats we can store in a file system. So the data is isolated. Data is isolated. So it's different for example, text format is different, Excel format is different, document format is different. So difficult in accessing the data. Why? Because we have to write a query there. That is the difference between file system. Let us see next, atomicity problems. For example, one person, okay, has some bank transaction. One person has some bank transaction. For example, he is debiting money or he is crediting some money into his account. Automatically, we will not get the same result. For example, though the money is debited from his account, he will not get that the transaction, this money is debited immediately after it. That means in execution process, if 2 operations or transactions happen at a time, one we are either debiting money or we are crediting money, or 2 operations at a time, they may not execute it at a time as it is system failure. That means, for example, someone has credited money, for example, Amazon Pay, okay, due to cancellation of the product, it has credited the money to my account. Okay, automatically the same amount is not reflected in my bank account. That means transaction is done there successfully, but it is not showing here. So it is not showing here. That is why this data is, when 2 or more operations at a time happen, there are atomicity problems. Atomicity problems in this. That means it is not reflected. Suppose I credited 1 lakh rupees to my friend. Yes, I credited, I'll tell, but in his account, it is not reflected immediately. That operation is not successful because it may be because of system failure in file system. Whereas concurrent access anomaly is another drawback. When multiple users are using same data, we may not get correct results. For example, if you go to reservation counter, there are say 10 seats. There are 10 seats in reservation, they are available. Automatically, I booked one seat. I booked one seat. Then automatically what happens? My friend also wanted reservation. He'll ask me, I told there are 10 seats available. You just open his system and check. The 10 seats will be as it is. It will be not updated immediately. So 10 reservation seats are there. The 10 will be reflecting even though two reservations or three reservations have done. Two persons have booked. It must have only 8 seats, but even then, it shows 10 seats only in reservation counter. So this is called concurrent. Concurrent means on the spot access anomalous problem in the file system. Okay, hope you understand. Last one is security problems. In file system, we have many security problems at different levels. Now let us see finally the difference between file system and Dbms. So data is stored in files. Data is stored in tables with different relationships. Okay, entity relationships are there. Dbms. Redundancy. Duplicate data often exists across different files. So one file is updated, the same data is not updated in another file. So separately you have to do this manually in file system. Low redundancy due to normalization techniques. We have some techniques called as 1F, 2F, 3F, 4F and 5 normalization techniques. Because of this, the redundancy doesn't occur in DBMS. So it is low consistency. Updating data in one file does not automatically update the data in another file. High consistency. Changes automatically across entire database. So querying and searching file system, if you want to search how many students are getting more than 70%, 60% something in one table, it is slow and manual, requires writing custom scripts. Okay, but here it is fast and optimized because we are using SQL for complex queries. Concurrency and access file system only allows one user to edit a file at a time to prevent corruption. Allows multiple users to read and write data. Security, we don't have automated backup tools for security, but here advanced security are there in DBMS. Encryption of the data and automatic recovery tools are also there for us. Backup. It's free actually in a file system built into operating system using simple to use. It is expensive because we need licensing, high resource, requires specialized skills. So these are the main differences between file system and DBMS. Thank you for now. We'll meet again with the next video related to DBMS.